Hey! Oh my god, it's back. Thank God. That was weird. That was super annoying. Hello everybody. Uh, so yeah, it's lovely to be back. Um, that was weird. Uh, I am, yeah, I'm here in Los Angeles. I just went to PatriotCon, which was amazing. Really, really well done. Um, what can I tell you about PaperCon? Well, it was 2 days. Um, I'm quiet right now. Oh boy. Yeah, this is interesting. I want. Is that better? Does that change anything? Is that better? I should never have gone live on my phone. This is why. Ugh. It's a little staticky. Very. Um, I really. I don't know if this is helping, but hello. Um, I. Ay, ay, ay. This is gonna be as good as it gets, guys. I can talk a little bit louder, but it's not gonna get any better than this tonight. And I'm probably going to hang up in like 2 minutes, so that I can do a couple other things before I grab some dinner with Michelle and Scotty. And I appreciate you guys being so cool with the technical difficulties. Yep, this is what it is today. So yeah, PatriotCon was freaking amazing. I learned so much, and please expect a massive rejiggering of my personal Patreon. And I want to personally apologize to every single one of you that has supported me on Patreon separate from Wolf359. I feel like I've done a very mediocre to arguably very shitty job of fulfilling the rewards that I promised. I think I overpromised and under-delivered, which is terrible and not what I'm committed to. Yeah, I don't want you guys to think that I'm like whipping myself, but I don't feel good about it. And it means a lot that those of you that have supported me. And I've learned a ton. I'm really excited to redesign it, and I'm looking for your partnership in thinking through what it should be. I have a vision for Focused AF as a broader series and brand that would be basically first of all, I want to get rid of all my tiers and just have everything be pay what you want, starting at $1, and everybody gets the same thing. So we can just be one fucking community. And then also, I won't be stressed about fulfilling like more difficult things, and it won't be like I'm only talking to like 2 or 3 of you guys at the higher tiers. So that's one thing that I learned at PatriotCon, is to just like really recenter the mission around the community. And that's really exciting. I love this idea, and I've actually been experimenting, more to come soon, about using Patreon as a fund to commission work from any of you guys that want to be creating work. And obviously not everybody at once, but I think that there's a really cool way that we can create sort of crowdsourced series that includes interviews that I'm doing and sort of like original programming that I'm creating with a team in New York, but also working with you guys to tell stories that I could never tell. And I really love the idea of enabling creators that are, and providing a platform for creators who are getting started and are hungry and want to learn, and that we can create a whole suite of content around, me working with a creator and a couple of my favorite creators working with creators to elevate their work in the process of getting it on the show. Um, and I have a lot of ideas about how we can do that, but I just wanted to sort of let you guys know where my thinking is there. Um, anyway, that is what I've been thinking about with that, and I'm super inspired by what Jack Conte and the team at Patreon are doing, and it's just like awesome to have gotten to meet so many creators dealing with the same problems and wondering just like how to make the difference they want to make. Um, it looks like I'll be able to do like t-shirt stuff in the future, like for patrons, and that's pretty cool. There's just like a lot of exciting things happening on the platform that I'm really inspired to be a part of, and you guys have been an amazing source of inspiration for me to want to be really leading the charge and empowering others to make their art and their work on Patreon. Yeah, I've got a couple interviews that I recorded with some of those people, some of the people who work at Patreon, with some of the artists, and made some relationships that I think are going to be really exciting. There's just a lot of stuff moving in my life, and it's felt like, as sort of chaotic as my creativity has been over the last several years, and how many... No, I did not find the mic. I lost one of these. I had 4 of them, and I lost one. I've been buying them on eBay for tooling up for the kind of shows I want to be making into next year. And I lost one with a recorder with a bunch of content from the finale of Wolf 359 on it, and it's on... it's really scary, actually, that might get out. If anybody finds it, please don't share it publicly. Please send it back to me. Yeah, my address is 620 Wilson Avenue, PNB 244, Brooklyn, New York 11207. That's like a little inbox, like a post box that you can send stuff to if you find it. I've notified JetBlue. I think somebody stole it. I think like my recorder rolled back in the plane and somebody found it and thought it was a cool thing they should take. And I hope that's not the case. I hope the airline finds it. I hope they send it back to me. I'm really not counting on it. Yeah, I guess I'm just like, one, glad that I'm not a private person and that I'm not stressed about personally getting outed about anything. Of course, I'm sure that there's me venting about stuff that I'd prefer not be public, but there's nothing that I die get shared, but I don't like that my friend's creation is at risk for being sort of like spoiled in some way. And that's scary. But life goes on. And that's what I have to say about that. So yeah, I mean, come on, it's not the worst thing in the world. There's a lot of bad news out there that this is a privilege problem. But it would be nice if it got returned. And so I'm open to that happening, and I hope it will. So I suspect that I am not notable enough and Wolf is not popular enough that anybody's who found it is gonna do anything with it that would be spoilery, but that would be shitty if that happened. So if you are somebody who found it, don't do that. And if you know anybody who found it, convince them that they shouldn't do that, because that's dumb. I just don't think it should even be a question. But yeah, there's a lot of really exciting stuff happening. What can I tell you? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's like in progress and process that I can't really get into right now. Or not that I can't, that I shouldn't, and I won't. Yeah, I'm gonna probably tune out now so that I can get some more work done. I'm gonna be at SUNY Purchase on Tuesday for a Project Uplift event. which is really exciting. I love doing Project Uplift on college campuses, and I love that I get to do it at a really awesome school in New York State. It's like right near where I live, pretty much, like an hour outside the city, 2 hours outside the city. So I go back to New York tomorrow night. I pick up the car at 10 p.m. From the airport. I drive back to my neighborhood, park, and then in the morning I pack my stuff and and go up to SUNY Purchase. And I'm going to be going with an apprentice that I've been working with, sort of a hustler in residence, Trevor Wallace, who has been I've been feeling out him as an assistant, as an editor, and it's been useful to get to do that. Definitely give this video a thumbs up for the effort of it being like sort of janky, I just appreciate you guys being so patient with me. And I would love to tour Project Uplift at any of your schools. Email me at zach@uplift.is if that's of interest. And stay tuned for more exciting stuff about how I can work with an increasingly large team, including crowdsourced work, for the upliftment of all of us and the world. And just I have some big ideas that some talks at Patreon have helped me sort of look at how to do the first thing. Anyway, this is like a free mint lip balm thing that we got that I've been trying to open to get some mint. But I love you guys, and I should run. I did not get a tattoo in my hand. I've just been taking so many furious notes over the last couple days. Oh, and that's, I guess, the last thing that we should talk about before I run is Rise Scrivember is in full effect. If you don't know what that is, it's Write a Script in November. It's a lot like National Novel Writing Month. If you don't know NaNoWriMo, it's been going on for like a decade. There used to be and it's like write 50,000 words for a novel. And not everybody wants to write a novel. There used to be something called Script Frenzy. And Script Frenzy died in 2011, 2012. And it was the equivalent of that for writing scripts. And yeah, I'm bringing back the script writing thing with this Rise Scrivember thing. And you can sign up. There's an email. I've been doing a daily email at risescrivember.org, or it's easier to just do writeascriptinnovember.org, and you can sign up right there. There's a button that says sign up, and you can give your email, and you'll get a daily email from me with some resources and some community stuff. And if anybody wants to feature anything in the community Cork board, DM me on Twitter, leave a comment on this video when it's permanently up. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's totally flexible. There's a stretch goal of 90 pages in the month. I'm going to be writing YouTube videos. Honestly, I started writing some jokes last night, stand-up comedy stuff. I'm probably also going to be writing some client where I just I'm really enjoying writing more and writing things for scripts for videos and for podcasts. It's a lot of fun. We're going to be doing a contest for anybody that wants to do an audio drama, where anybody who submits an audio drama, I think the rules are it's under 35 pages, pretty much, and with less than 10 characters, or 10 characters or less, I will produce it, and I'll be acting in it and producing it and working with other friends of mine in the audio drama world. And when it's up, we're going to put it up for sale as a pay what you want situation on that. Oh, hey Lauren.
Hello.
Just doing stuff for Sunday.
Hi guys. Welcome to my home.
I'm trying to keep it to the corner.
Oh no, it's fine. I filmed all of this.
Amazing.
Yeah.
They're
Never.
freaking out right now. They love you.
I love you guys too. Can I
Yeah,
join?
yeah, come on in. I was actually gonna hang up, but why not? This is more fun.
Hi. Hi, guys. Hi,
yeah.
guys.
So yeah, we were just talking about Ragtag Emperor.
Nice.
Yeah, I would love to share more about that. But I guess, what's your favorite thing about writing scripts? That you've learned, that you think would be useful to people who are writing audio dramas? Just telling us about the contest. So we're gonna put it up for sale for United for Puerto Rico. Yeah, that's the thing that we're doing. I mean, honestly, there's so many fucking causes. It's so hard to choose these days. But
Yep.
that's what we said, and that's what we're gonna do.
And still worthy cause.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Still
they're
a
all
thing.
worthy causes.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite thing about writing scripts, I don't know. That's really hard. Like, I love, like, getting into that groove where, like, things are just kind of pinging, and it feels really good, and it feels like the characters are having a conversation without me.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. And that's something that I feel like I personally get to that place by having the conversations out loud with myself. And then it's like I'll kind of just be in the flow of this, like, stream of consciousness talking, and then I'll, like, say something that surprised me, and I'm like, oh, that character said that. Like, that's interesting and new and not what I
Wow.
expected. So
Yeah.
I realize it makes it
Do
sound
you
like
record that?
sometimes. If
Yeah, I was
I'm...
gonna say, you're sitting alone in your apartment talking to you. I love it.
Yeah.
Gabrielle does the same thing.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah.
I record sometimes in my car if I'm having an idea, I'll, like, put on my voice memo because I obviously can't write anything down.
Right.
But typically I'm sort of typing as I'm
you're talking.
As I'm talking.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I
Cool.
don't actually record it. So, though in the early days there are definitely some file somewhere of me
So,
acting as all characters.
how do you get to a point where, like, what would you recommend somebody who has an idea but maybe hasn't started writing script pages about how to get to a place where they can hear the voices in their head that clearly? Or, like, should they just start trying?
Yeah, I think you just have to spend time with those people, you know? Like,
did you start by, like, writing, like just novel-ish, like, you know, sort of like prose of the characters, or writing backstories?
For one character, I did start writing, like, a prose thing. I've mentioned this on my film before. For Caleb, I started writing kind of like a prose form of his Adam story because of the empathy thing. I really wanted to dig into the vocabulary of, like, how feeling other people's feelings would actually feel, and kind of, like, finding a way to describe that. So prose was helpful for that. But mostly, to, like, use him to extend the example, figuring out his voice is really just a process of, like, I mean, my playlists are, like, a big thing, you know, that really helps me figure out a character's voice. I like listening to music that I've made sort of selected for them.
Right.
And what do I mean by time with people? I, like, literally just kind of spend time with them in your brain. Like, I'm sure a lot of you daydream about stuff, and I spend a lot of time just sort of, like, daydreaming about these people. Like, we all, you know, stand in the shower and imagine the conversation with somebody in our life.
Right.
Like, either the conversation we've had that we wish had gone differently, or, like, oh man, if I ever talk to this person about this thing, this is what I would want to say.
Right.
Just kind of having those conversations with your fictional people and kind of figuring out, like, their opinions on things and how they relate to you as a person, I think, is helpful in figuring out how they're going to relate to each other. Like, I try to figure out how I relate to each of my characters, like, if they were real people in my life.
Do you think of yourself as Sam when you're writing?
To an extent.
Like, sort of
It's like
adjacent?
she's like a weird, like, mirror version of myself.
Right.
So I still have conversations with her, but there definitely is. It's sometimes harder and sometimes easier. Because sometimes it's just me being myself, and sometimes the conversation with her, like, she's not giving me what I need from her because it's like we fundamentally don't get along sometimes.
Right.
Which I think would be true if I had an external person who was, you know, 90% me. I don't know that I'd get along with them all the time.
That would be really interesting to watch.
Yes. Oh God. Probably end in a big storming out by one of us or both of us. Not murder. Maybe murder. I don't know. But yeah, just like continually talking to them and then writing things down, and I think kind of like writing monologues for them kind of helped me in the beginning. It's like, sort of their internal monologues. So not necessarily prose. It's still like dialogue to me because it's what they're thinking.
Right.
But that helps, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Super useful. Guys, got any questions before we hang up? Nice.
Cool. Murder, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's, yep.
Maybe Murder, I don't know. Lauren Shippen, 2017.
Yep, that's me. Oh, thanks, guys. You're very sweet.
Ms. Ryan, we just read your comments about the attractiveness, and we're blushing.
We are.
How to write
at the end of volume 9.
we cannot talk about that. I hope that nobody finds that reporter on JetBlue, and let's not talk about it. What was your thinking on the change of style in the Bright Sessions, like framing device situation?
That's a good question. Really, it was just I discovered that there were just lots of conversations I wanted to have with these characters and between these characters that couldn't happen in the therapy room, and then also the course of the plot and the way that the characters relate to each other kind of insisted on it. Dr. Bright really can't be giving therapy to a lot of these people anymore because it would be super unethical.
Right.
So it was not a conscious choice necessarily of like, I want to take this out of the therapy room and expand it. There was a conscious process of decision making in terms of like, how can I do this that won't be jarring to the audience? But really it was just that I kept finding myself writing scenes that would have no reason to be recorded because that's where the story was taking me.
Right.
And then that's what it's turned into. Pretty much. Yeah.
Beautiful. Somebody asked how you write a fight scene. And I think the thing that I would just challenge you with is to avoid the like, basically I would make it more about the people than about the fighting. Like, I wouldn't plan to have like a really drawn out scene because then it just gets unclear for the viewer unless you're like, ow, like how dare you punch me in the eye with your right hand?
Yeah.
Because like it's just like hard to communicate that stuff. So I would just like work on the tension that sort of like leads up to that. All right, last question. You can pick. There's a couple.
I like this one.
Zach, who would you like to play in the Bright Sessions? Oh boy.
Lauren, who would you like to play next? This is mine. That's a great question.
That's a great question. I'm like, I feel like Caleb would be fun, or like Adam or Caleb, like that. Just getting to play that relationship, I feel like would be fun on either side. But I do feel like Damien would probably be the best fit for my vocal range.
Yeah.
Like it depends. Like, am I supposed to replace them and like sound as much like them as I can?
No, I think it's like who would you want to play out of all the characters?
Right. Probably Damien. He's a fun character.
I would want to play Kepler.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kind of similar.
Yeah, exactly. Like playing villains are so fun. It's super fun. And Kepler's just so like, I love him. I hate him.
Yeah,
He's garbage, but I love him.
Such a jerk. Space jerk.
Space jerk.
All right, guys. This has been super fun. I'm really glad that we made some time for Self-Care Sunday.
Thanks for letting me crash.
Love. Oh my God. So good. Check out the Bright Sessions if you haven't already. thebrightsessions.com. And yeah, until then, be well.
Bye, guys.
Hit this button. Oh, and there's another.